Good morning, YouTubians. It's Kermit's Ghost. You can call me Alan. It is Monday, the 25th of November 2024. You can see I've got my tree up behind me. It's a Blu-ray release day here in the UK. And talking of which, I wonder who picked Monday as a Blu-ray release day. I remember many years ago, it was on a different day. I believe it was a Friday, but that was a long time ago. That was back in the VHS days. And now it's a Monday. It's changed to a Monday. I believe actually it's a Tuesday in the USA, but correct me if I'm wrong. Now, who makes those decisions, and why do all the studios follow suit and compete on the very same day rather than stagger their releases throughout the week? Anyway, it matters not one bit. It is a Monday, so it is a Blu-ray release day. So I'm going to head up to Costa first for my morning latte, not a sponsor, and then I'll head into HMV and I'll film exactly what those studios have lined up for us today and exactly what prices they've assigned to each item as well. I do talk a little waffle sometimes, and anyway, let's head to Costa. I will see you all up in the city in just a bit. So here I am basking in the warmth of Costa coffee because it's rather chilly outside today, and a hot frothy coffee will lighten your mood and by extension your day. Frothy coffee is what we used to call a latte back in the 70s. The festive season, it would appear, is upon us in Churchill Square, Brighton. So credit where credit is due. They have made some improvements over last year's debacle. They've even added some stars with lights and a structure outside HMV. As well as last year's chandelier a shame, there also seems to be a grotto being built, which means a Santa Claus, which the mall hasn't had for a number of years, so that is a big improvement. Anyway, into HMV, and they have a 20% sale on. So HMV have a sale on this week, and it's 20% off a very wide range of titles. First, I thought it was just contained to this display stand, but in just a moment I'll show you the extent of the offers. So here's a few examples for you. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This just came out a few weeks ago. Same here with Maxine, recent release. So if you did buy these at full price, you might want to avert your eyes. Baghead there, Brightburn, as well as The Beast. Here's a few more titles. Benny in June, which stars Johnny Depp. You've also got underneath that Avatar, the remastered edition. And no price on the back, but I think it was £7 something on the front. And then we have Back to Black, a biographical drama of Amy Winehouse. And then we got Alita. Oh, and Angels with Dirty Faces. I'm not going to go through the whole stand because it will take forever. So here's a rough price guide of the reductions. Now, not all the new titles are in the sale. Here's Blake 7. You'll notice a sticker on that said it was excluded from promotion. But here's Star Trek Prodigy Season 2. Only came out on the 11th this month, and that's gone down from £25 to £20, all but a penny. So the extent of this sale is vast. It's pretty much everything that doesn't have an exemption sticker on, and there's not a lot out there, maybe a few Criterions and some new titles. But here's an example. We got the Police Academy box set there. Was £19.99, now £15.99. So that's a pretty good saving then on the big box set. All of these new titles are included in the sale. Thelma just came out last Monday, so if you did pick it up, that's got a sting a little bit. Also, Things Will Be Different is also in the sale, and that just came out last week as well. And scanning across the boutique labels, it seems that everything is currently 20% off. That's Criterion, 88 Films, Arrow, BFI, Indicator, 101 and Radiance. Not to mention every single regular release that isn't currently part of a deal. So with that said, let's take a look at the new releases. In no particular order, I'm going to start with the first of two Warner Archive releases of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is the 1941 version, directed by Victor Fleming, with Spencer Tracy playing the dual-role title character. £14.99 for this horror film, and it carries a 12 certificate. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. This is a 1984 sci-fi comedy adventure, and it's got a stellar cast which includes Peter Weller, Ellen Barkin, John Lithgow, Christopher Lloyd, and Jeff Goldblum. The title speaks for itself really, doesn't it? $12.99 for this release today, and it carries a 12 certificate. Black Cat 2. This is an action thriller from 1992, and it's about a secret government plan to create a perfect killing machine by implanting a microchip called Black Cat into the brain of a violent but controlled girl. What can possibly go wrong? This 88 Films release is priced at £19.99, and it carries a 15 certificate. Blood Delirium next, a giallo horror from 1988. It's about a widowed painter called Saint Simon who finds a young woman who looks just like his recently deceased wife and lures her back to his castle, but not for good intentions. Also, the butler's one to watch out for as well. £14.99 for this 18-rated movie. Cooking Price-Wise from BFI now, and yes, that is Vincent Price doing a cooking show, and this was a passion project for the horror maestro. It's a 6-part TV series, and if you're looking to perfect your souffle, then look no further. This 1971 treat is yours for £16.99. Of Flesh and Blood, the cinema of Hirokazu Koreeda. There are 4 movies in this release: Barbarossa from 1995, Afterlife from 1998, Nobody Knows from 2004, and Still Walking from 2008. These 4 dramas are priced at £34.99. Here we have an 88 films release of House of Mortal Sin, aka The Confessional. It's a British slasher horror from 1976 and about an insane Catholic priest who has a warped idea of how to deal with sinners. Stars Anthony Sharp as the priest, alongside Susan Penhaligon and Stephanie Beacham. This is priced at £16.99. End of Days next. This is a first-time Blu-ray release for the UK. Took them long enough. This is an action thriller horror from 1999 starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Robin Tunney, Gabriel Byrne and Kevin Pollak. This, as the title suggests, is about the end of days. Devil on Earth type movie. Well, more specifically, Devil in New York. And only Arnie can stop him. £14.99 for this one. The Legend of Fong Sai-yuk 1 and 2, the deluxe limited editions, available on both Blu-ray and 4K. These Hong Kong action comedies star Jet Li as the title character. Now, I've seen the trailer. There's lots of wirework action scenes in these. This comes with a booklet, a double-sided poster, and the films are in a card-type casing, so there's no plastic, apart from the disc holder. The Blu-ray is priced at £34.99, whereas the 4K is priced at £49.99, and they carry a 15 certificate. Dark Winds Season 2 next, a Western noir crime drama produced by Robert Redford and Game of Thrones writer George R.R. Martin. This show follows 3 Navajo tribal police officers, Joe, Bernadette and Jim, as they solve crimes. This show is set in the 1970s. There are 6 episodes in this season, same as the first one. £19.99 for this one. And here we have seasons 1 and 2 of Dark Winds in one case, and this has been given a green light for season 3, and it's set to air next March. That's just in case you're thinking it's a done deal and thought you'd complete the show here. In fact, it's gained popularity, and season 3 has got 8 episodes instead of the regular 6. This one is priced at £34.99. Evil Does Not Exist next. This is a Japanese drama from last year. It's about a father and his 8-year-old daughter that live near a proposed area that developers want to build a glamping site on, and the local community believe that it would upset their delicate water systems nearby. The trailer has me intrigued. £14.99 for this release. Kneecap next from Curzon Film. This is an exclusive HMV slipcover, and very nice it is too. This is about the remaining native Irish-speaking people, 6,000 of which live in Northern Ireland, and 3 have become a rap group called Kneecap, so expect lots of Gaelic in this drama, as the trio strive to keep the language alive. £19.99 for this release. Next is an 88 films release of Mortuary. This is a slasher classic number 54. It's from 1982 and it stars Bill Paxton, and the film is about a young woman who discovers her father's death may not have been an accident after all, plus some strange going-ons at the local mortuary. £16.99 for this movie. Yohani the Pahalian, Sunshine in the Mirror next. This is season 1. It's about a young girl who's a fortune teller, lives near the sea in a quaint town, and spends most of her time trying to avoid people from the big city. I know how that feels. This has a runtime of 229 minutes and is priced at £32.99. Next is Wallace and Gromit the Collection. This is available on both Blu-ray and 4K, and it features A Grand Day Out, The Wrong Trousers, A Close Shave, and A Matter of Loaf and Death, each as good as the last. There are massive extras on this, £15.99 for the 2-disc set on Blu-ray, and £29.99 for the 3-disc set on 4K. Cuckoo next, a horror movie from this year that was written and directed by Tilman Singer. This sees a 17-year-old girl move to an alpine resort in the Bavarian Alps with her father, stepmother and sister, but things take a sinister turn when a hooded woman appears in the road and the guests at the resort start vomiting. £14.99 for this movie. Generation Z next. This is a British comedy horror written and directed by Ben Wheatley, which aired on TV in October this year. It's about a military truck that crashes outside a care home and its cargo of chemicals turn the residents into zombies. £16.99 for this 2-disc show. Red Eye Season 1 now from Dazzler Media. It's an action thriller 6-episode miniseries which aired in April this year, and it's about a doctor who is being transported back to Beijing where he has been accused of murder. But is he in fact the next target? £16.99 for this 2-disc set. Next is a Warner Archive release of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is a pre-code horror from 1931 directed by Ruben Mamoulian and starring Frederick March as the title's character with dual identities. £14.99 for this release today. The Wombles, the complete collection next. This is a stop-motion animated TV show which aired from February 1973 through to October 1975. This 3-disc set includes the DVD of the 1977 film, and why not just put it on Blu-ray? Just seems a little bit strange. This includes a double-sided poster and is priced at £49.99. I've got to say, as a child, I absolutely hated this show. Just saying. Next is The Hop Pickers, a Czech musical from 1964 set during the summer of hop picking. Deals with the subject of first love, morality and generational conflicts. £17.99 for this movie. Island of Fire next from 88 Films. This is a joint Taiwanese and Hong Kong action movie from 1990 starring Jackie Chan and Andy Lau. This is about a corrupt prison system and the 3 inmates that take it on. £16.99 for this film, which carries an 18 certificate. Frightmare next, a horror film from 1974 put out by 88 Films. This is about a former patient of a mental institution who now lives a quiet life in a remote farmhouse, but her true nature is only lurking beneath the surface, and the hospital that released her is fully aware of what she truly is. £16.99 for this movie, and it also carries an 18 certificate. Ticks next, another horror film. This one's from 1993. It's about a bunch of teens that go camping in the wilderness only to be set upon by a bunch of mutated ticks that love to burrow inside their victims. Lovely stuff. £14.99 for this film. Next we have The Crow. This is a reimagining of the 1994 film of the same name, and this stars Bill Skarsgård, FKA Twigs and Danny Huston. This bombed at the box office, making $24 million back on its $50 million budget. It's got a runtime 111 minutes and it's available on Blu-ray, priced at £14.99, or on 4K, priced at £24.99, and they carry an 18 certificate. Next is Watership Down from BFI. This is a limited edition release of an animated adventure drama from 1978. It's the story of a young rabbit who is voiced by Richard Byers, who has a vision that his rabbit warren is about to be destroyed, so he convinces other rabbits to go with him and find a new home. This also features the voice talents of John Hurt, Roy Kinnear, Denholm Elliott and Nigel Hawthorne. The sets come with a double-sided poster, 4 postcards and a perfect bound book, and lots of special features. The Blu-ray is priced at £24.99, whereas the 4K is priced at £29.99. Hey everybody, welcome back to Two to Show You. One is a box set that came out last Monday, which I showed during last Monday's video. And this one that was gifted to me outside HMV. Lots to talk about. Let's crack on with it. Okay, first title to show you was actually given to me by a guy called Chris, who I often bump into whilst I'm filming in Brighton's HMV. He approached me last week as the shutters were raising, and he handed me a Blu-ray of Disney's Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, the complete series. Chris bought it for himself, but he just couldn't get on with it, so he gave it to me. Appreciate that. And I've not seen this show, not a single episode, because it aired from May 1989 through to November 1990. And during that period, I never owned a TV set because I was poor. Recently moved to Brighton on my own, so TV just wasn't a priority. Food and rent was. Anyway, this is an animated show about 2 chipmunks who solve crimes that are small, deemed insignificant for the police. And you've got 2 main characters. You've got Chip, who is dressed like Indiana Jones, complete with a fedora. And Chip is voiced by Tress MacNeille, who, oddly enough, did star in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, but in voice capacity only. And then you've got Dell, who wears a colourful Hawaiian shirt, very much like Magnum P.I., voiced by Corey Burton. Now, looking through this set, I noticed that, bizarrely, Season 1 has 13 episodes, Season 3 has 5 episodes, but Season 2 has a whopping 47 episodes, so a little bit uneven. I'm not sure why there's such a difference in numbers, but it is what it is. Each episode's 22 minutes long, and you've got other characters which include Monty, an Australian mouse with a big moustache, voiced by Optimus Prime's Peter Cullen, and Jim Cummins as well. In fact, the voice artists I've named, including Tress and Corey, have voiced other characters in the show as well, the likes of Gadget and Zipper, as well as the villains as well. They're all very talented people. It's got a runtime 1,485 minutes, so a long show. Let's take a look inside. So this is a 14mm case, and on the inside there are 6 plain blue discs, because this is a Disney release, and unfortunately they didn't include an episode guide. So that was Chip and Dale, The Rescue Rangers, the complete series. Thank you very much, Chris. Much appreciated. You, mate, are a star. Okay, next one to show you is the Pryor and Wilder box set. There are 3 films in this. I'll show you the box set first, and then I'll talk about the films individually. Okay, so the box itself, we have this band that goes almost halfway up the box, which you can just slide off, and you'll notice there's no age logos now. They're all on the band, which is good. And you've also got the titles of the films. You've got the titles on the films on the side, the age logo on the other side, and on the back we have the original poster art with the films, and you've got your limited number underneath, so it's good to keep hold of that for information of the titles plus your limited number. So with the band removed and the contents removed, this is quite a sturdy box set, by the way. We have that image there on the front from Stir Crazy, which in my opinion is the best film of the set. We have Pryor and Wilder just on the side there. We have the titles of the film on the top, some specs on the bottom, and on the back we have a full list of all the special features. Plus they include a 98-page booklet about the actors and the films and behind the scenes and everything you need to know about the 3 movies included. Okay, first title out of this set is Stir Crazy. It's a comedy from 1980 directed by Sidney Poitier, and it stars Richard Pryor as Harry Monroe. Start of the film, Harry is a waiter serving dinner at a very posh house when it's realised that the cook has added his stash of weed to the ingredients at the meal. By mistake, obviously, but it makes all the guests high as kites, and for that he is fired. Meanwhile, across town, his best friend Skip Donahue, being played by Gene Wilder, he gets fired from his job as well as a store detective because he falsely accuses an actress of stealing a dress. And Skip sees this as an opportunity for the pair to leave town and head to California, and Harry agrees. On their way to the Californian sun, they get temp jobs dressed as woodpeckers to promote a bank. And during one of their lunch breaks, a couple of criminals who they meet earlier in the film, they steal their bird costumes and they rob the bank for which they work for, leading to Skip and Harry being arrested and swiftly incarcerated for 125 years. Now, throughout the film, Skip is permanently over-enthusiastic, but Harry is a realist, and that's where the comedy is. Whilst in prison, each inmate is expected to ride a mechanical bull in the warden's office to spot potential talent for the prison's annual bull riding competition. I won't say any more story-wise, but I will also mention it stars Barry Corbin. He's the crooked warden in this. Barry you're going to know from War Games, where he played the character General Jack Beringer, or even from the more recent Tulsa King, where he played the character Babe. There's also Craig T. Nelson as Ward Wilson. He is a deputy warden who is also corrupt. Now, you're going to know Craig from The Poltergeist, where he plays Steve Freeling, or even from Young Sheldon. There's also Jo Beth Williams as well as Meredith. She's Harry and Skip's lawyer's cousin. And you'll know Jo Beth. She was also in The Poltergeist alongside Craig T. Nelson, where she played his wife, Diane Freeling. Now, there's also Erland Van Lith, I think that's how you say it, as Grossberger. He's playing a mass murderer in this, but you're going to know him from The Running Man, where he played Dynamo. He died very young, very sad. This was such a funny film. From start to finish, I was laughing. It's much better than I remembered, actually. It's got a runtime of 1 hour, 51 minutes. Let's take a look inside. Okay, so this is not an Amaray case. This is a folded piece of card. It's pretty much just like a birthday card. You open it up and you've got the disc inside, and you've got a screenshot behind when Skip and Harry are arrested. And you have the image there, Skip and Harry in their woodpecker costumes, although they've kind of cropped Harry out of the picture there a little bit. So that was Stir Crazy. Okay, next one to show you is See No Evil, Hear No Evil. This is a comedy thriller from 1989 that's directed by Arthur Hiller. Now, he's worked with the two leads before on another movie called Silver Streak, and that was also a comedy thriller, but that one was from 1976. Now, in this, Gene Wilder is playing Dave Lyons. He runs a concession stand inside an office building in New York City, and he's completely deaf, but he can read lips to a certain degree. Richard Pryor, he's playing Wally, a blind man who is out of work. He does get a job working for Dave in his shop, and on his first day of work, a man is shot and killed at the concession stand whilst Wally is outside waiting for a delivery for newspapers, and Dave's got his back turned to the killer, so he doesn't hear the gunshot going off. But he does, however, witness the murderer's legs walking away, and those legs, they belong to Eve, who's being played by a fashion model called Joan Severance. Now, the pair, Dave and Wally, not the legs, they get arrested, and it's because they discover the body, that is, they pick up the gun, something you shouldn't do in films. Now, as you can imagine, one deaf, one blind, confusion ensues. And never forget, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman. That's for you, Lisa. Now, after an ingenious escape, Dave and Wally, they go on the run trying to prove their innocence and avoid the killers. Got to point out this also stars Kevin Spacey as a crime boss, and for some reason he's got a huge prosthetic boil on the side of his face. At least I think it's prosthetic. Now what was annoying about this film was the use of rear projections during some of the chase scenes, which was unnecessary. This was funny, but it wasn't as good as Stir Crazy. This has got a runtime of 1 hour 42 minutes and not what it says on the back. Let's take a look inside. So on the inside of this cardboard edition we have an image there, Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor in black and white, and on the disc there we have Dave cut out a little bit this time, but on the back we have an image of Gene Wilder's character Dave, maybe to make up for the fact he's cropped out on the disc. So that was See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Next and last is Another You. This is a comedy from 1991 that's directed by Maurice Phillips, and this time around Richard Pryor is playing the character of Eddie Dash. He is a career petty criminal who is assigned community service at the Rivington Clinic, which happens to be a mental health facility, and it happens that George is a patient there. George is being played by Gene Wilder, and George is a pathological liar. He is discharged, put into Eddie's care, and just a few moments later George is mistaken on the street for another man called Abe. And Eddie sees this as an opportunity that he can make some money from, and he starts to work a con. As the day goes on, everybody seems to recognise George as Abe Fielding, and he gets preferential treatment wherever he goes. Now even a woman called Elaine seems to think that George is her husband Abe, and she takes him home. Elaine is being played by the lovely Mercedes Ruehl, by the way, who you may know from Married to the Mob. She was also in Fisher King, and she was also in Big as Mrs. Baskin. There is a reason behind the mistaken identity, but I'm not going to say it anymore story-wise. But I will also mention it stars very young Stephen Lang as Rupert Dibbs. He is Abe's business manager, but he's also Elaine's acting agent, which may be linked to the mistaken identity, but I'm not going to elaborate. There's also Kevin Pollak as Phil. He is a fellow patient at the mental health facility. Now Phil seems to have multiple personalities, and they're all film characters or movie stars, from Woody Allen to Captain Kirk. And there's also Vincent Schiavelli as well as a dentist. Vincent you're going to know as a subway ghost from the movie Ghost, which was made the year before this one. Plus there's also Vanessa Williams as Gloria. She is the love interest of Eddie. Now this movie also has a fantastic audio commentary from the film historian Kim Newman, which is always worth checking out. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 35 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So inside this cardboard cover we have an image there of Eddie Dash being played by Richard Pryor. He's faking playing the saxophone there, but at least on the disc there we have an image of both of them in full. And behind that image we have Gene Wilder, Partners Forever. So that was Another You. So that was a Pryor and Wilder box set, and it starts off very strong with Stir Crazy, but it does slightly dip as each film progresses. So that was it. Have you seen any of those? Do you plan to pick them up or just want to leave a comment? Then do so down below. I will read every single one and I'll try to reply if I have the time. Give the video a thumbs up, really does help the channel, and subscribe if you haven't. It's all free. Why wouldn't you? On that note, all that's left to say is thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.